Previously on the Sanity Spring Launch 2025.
Like a cake has to be fantastic, from the icing to the core, baked through and through.
That's actually a really good metaphor for the value of Sanity, for the value of the content operating system.
I guess it is. Evelina. Why did you bring us here?
Well, I thought the cheesecake thing was deep, but I think we need another metaphor.
People never ask for more metaphors.
Well, we're here now.
Okay.
This is the British Library.
I know. You asked me to come here.
Yeah, I mean, you think of this just as a bunch of books, right?
I mean, it's pretty much a bunch of books.
Yeah, but it's also 750 kilometers worth of books.
That's a very big pile of books.
Yeah, and each year they add another 8 kilometers worth of books.
So it's a very fast-growing big pile of books.
Correct, and anyone in here can get any book delivered within 15 minutes.
15 minutes. That's pretty cool.
You know what that requires?
Organization.
Yes, but
Purpose.
also like robots, crane conveyor belts.
Robots.
The pure logistics of that, honestly,
Robots.
it's a breathing, living thing.
So the British Library is a living, breathing thing with robots.
Correct.
That's your metaphor for the content operating system.
That's what I'm going for.
I flew here. It took 2 hours.
You get it, sir.
I fought a lot on traffic for this.
Yeah, you'll get there.
I'll work on it.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted with where we're actually going.
Train is behind this one in 2 minutes.
Okay, I think I get your metaphor now. So,
Yeah.
an average company thinks of their content as this kind of static pile of stuff.
Yes, they may think that they just need a regular CMS.
No robots.
No robots.
Whereas an extraordinary company have a different perspective, more dynamic.
They think about the tools, the automation, the integrations. To them, content is not something they have, it's something they do.
Content operations.
Right, they truly recognize the value of a content operating system.
Exactly. And like everything that we're launching this spring is kind of inspired by those kinds of companies. We're basically just looking at how our best customers are operating and building it into the platform.
I think this is what's so amazing about all this. You told me App SDK was inspired by these custom workflow apps from companies like Tecovas and Morning Brew.
And the functions and the AI kind of agent actions, those are basically all inspired by how loveholidays built these kind of awesome automated pipeline. They even do like automated translations of new content and stuff like that.
I know, I used to work here.
Yeah, I totally know that. Absolutely.
Sorry, I get distracted when I see people I know. This is bad. Hi, good to see you.
So Millie.
Hi.
Hi. I know you've been the driving force behind a lot of these templates that's driving content on your pages. Can you please show us this so we can understand it more in detail?
Sure thing. I've picked one of our richest pages, I guess, Spain holidays, lots of content on here, lots of manual intervention here. In terms of what that looks like in Sanity, there's lots of different components in here. This is the stuff that the content editors have gone in and edited. On the flip side, we've got a few sort of smaller destinations, newer destinations that haven't maybe received content editor touch yet. One of them is here.
It looks like a page to me.
It's definitely a page and it does the job. You can book a holiday and it works. This one, on the other hand, in Sanity looks like this.
There's no content.
So there is no content. How does it create a page? Well, I will show you. What we've created is this template system. So this is essentially very similar setup to the page references. We've got things in here that we don't need to touch on a regular basis. The benefit of this is for a page like this one, where it has nothing in it, it means that this template will ensure that there is no page on the site that would be completely empty. So there will always be, at the very least, a basic amount of content, and we don't have to worry too much about having to have someone go in to every single page and make sure that it that it works.
So like you use the time where it matters the most, and then like the generic stuff for the kind of run-of-the-mill stuff, it just runs themselves.
Exactly. A content editor doesn't have to waste time going, what is the currency?
Because you might not know, right?
Exactly.
You shouldn't have to know, basically.
Exactly, yeah. And what we do have is there is a system that runs in the back where when we do put a new destination on sale, that will automatically create a page. This template will get applied to it, and then we can always make sure that it has content on it.
So you have your collection of content, and then you have robots and conveyor belts to automate everything else.
Exactly, and
She gets it.
the aim of the game is giving our content editors the space to create rather than just automating for automation's sake, you know, like we're taking away some of that pain and the admin and letting them grow.
Letting them shine.
Letting them shine.
So Matt, I've always wanted to see the hotel content pipeline in real life. Can you please show us?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, we have a lot of our hotel content coming from various suppliers or vendors who provide us with a bunch of feeds, and we kind of aggregate that data and choose which description we want to use based on the quality of it, and our hotel content team manually edit that given hotel, giving our own version of a description, but that's not a scalable process, so we decided we needed to automate this, send it off to a generative AI tool of choice, and get a description back that follows like Love Holidays style of writing. It's all set up in Sanity, so we have our prompt chains which are set up here, and this basically allows the team to configure the instructions that they want to use. Then they have this tool that we've built for them. They can pick what they want to do. They can decide these are the hotels they want to target, the prompt that they want to use, and they can basically kick this off. The service basically publishes this back into Sanity.
So that ends up for review for like the editor. So it's not like completely automated, it's just accelerating.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was something that we had to consider in the beginning was what do we do with this content after we've generated it? We could just publish it back into the existing pipelines, which makes it live on site, but we needed that element of human in the loop and being able to preview the content as well, which obviously lends itself, I mean, Sanity just kind of scream from the rooftops like this is what you should be using.
Yeah, because right now we did one, but you could have done a whole category, a whole selection.
We could have selected every hotel that we have.
Right.
And then obviously as you scale across Europe, localization is a key thing to think of.
Yeah, so in the same pipeline we have translation jobs that do much the same, but instead of using generative AI, we're using DeepL to translate the already generated content, which makes sure that what we have in English very much lines up with what we have in other languages. But that was so successful that we kind of looked towards our page content in Sanity as well. And we're using the Sanity localization plugin, which kind of allows you to see the English and the generated German in this example side by side, which allows them to make any changes they might want or kind of improve the content.
That's so cool. So you massively increased your kind of supply of products and also the markets you can address with just automation.
Exactly. So we can just in again a click of a button, we can say we want to target a specific language for a market that we're moving into and have hundreds of pages automatically generated and ready to go for that market. We had only a couple of thousand which we could manually curate and then index with Google and stuff like that, but now we have the choice of 50,000 hotels, so that can constantly evolve which ones we are advertising and
it was just like 2 clicks and then you're done basically.
Yeah,
like it's so like smooth, the whole process, right?
Yeah.
This is basically like the stuff we did with functions and the agent actions are basically inspired by looking at this and thinking this should be easy. This should be part of the platform.
And we cannot wait.
Thank you for being extraordinary.
Yeah, honestly, thank you so much.